이번 워치스 앤 원더스 출장 때 잠시 짬을 내서 스위스 비엔에 위치한 글라이신 본사를 방문했습니다. 글라이신은 저희 채널 초창기부터 깊은 인연을 맺고 있는 제가 사랑하는 브랜드인데요. 1914년에 설립된 이후 항공용 시계와 군용 시계에 집중해온 브랜드입니다. 이번 방문을 통해서 그들이 현재 어디로 가고 있는지, 어떤 방향을 추구하는지를 직접 확인할 수 있었습니다. 매니징 디렉터 다니엘 안드레아타 님과 인터뷰를 진행하기도 했고요. 본사 지하에 있는 라카브라고 불리는 벙커 같이 생긴 박물관도 함께 둘러봤습니다. 풍문으로만 들었던 글라이신의 역사적인 모델들을 가까이서 볼 수 있었던 건 꽤 인상적인 경험이었습니다. 물론 이번 방문의 중심은 2025년형 컴뱃 서브 신제품입니다. 컴뱃 서브는 이미 얇고 튼튼한 다이버 시계로 잘 알려져 있죠. 200m 방수를 지원하면서도 10.6mm 두께의 부담 없이 착용할 수 있다는 점이 큰 장점입니다. 이번 모델도 그 기조를 그대로 이어갑니다. 이번 디자인은 2-3년 전에 출시됐던 한정판 컴뱃 서브의 디자인을 일부 조정해서 레귤러 에디션으로 확장한 모델입니다. 개인적으로 아주 높게 평가하는 디자인이기도 한데요. 특히 인상 깊었던 건 종종 지적받던 시분 초침 같은 서브마리너의 오마주 요소들이 이번 모델에서는 완전히 사라졌다는 점입니다. 지난번 시크라켄에서도 그렇고 글라이신이 본인들의 밀리터리 정체성 안에서 독자적인 디자인 언어를 확립해가고 있다는 인상을 강하게 주는 컬렉션입니다. 빈티지한 분위기는 있는데 과거의 특정 모델을 그대로 복제하거나 답습하지 않아서 그것도 바람직하게 느껴졌습니다. 이 시계의 직경은 42mm의 러그투러그 길이는 50.3mm인데요. 케이스 크기만 보면 다소 크게 느껴질 수 있지만은 곡선형 러그 덕분에 손목 위에서의 착용감은 훨씬 부드럽습니다. 브라이틀링의 슈퍼오션 42mm를 착용해 본 분들이라면은 이 디멘션이 굉장히 익숙하게 느껴지실 거예요. 참고한 게 아닐까 싶을 정도로 좀 비슷하긴 합니다. 두께는 10.6mm인데 이거는 요즘 나오고 있는 오션스타 39 같은 얇은 걸 무기 삼는 다이버와 같은 두께입니다. 러그의 폭은 22mm이고요. 무게는 91.6g입니다. 케이스는 전면적으로 브러쉬드 피니싱으로 마감이 되어 있습니다. 예전에 측면 부분에 일부 섞여 있던 폴리싱된 표면이 모두 제거된 게 인상적인데요. 툴워치로서의 방향성이 더욱 분명해졌다고 생각합니다. 얇은 시계이니만큼 뎁스에서는 다소 약점이 있었는데요. 다이얼이 훨씬 입체적으로 개선이 됐습니다. 수평 방향의 브러시드 마감 위에다가 화이트 챕터링을 배치를 하고 메탈 인덱스 테두리와 아플리케 로고를 적용해서 입체감을 살려놨습니다. 그냥 밋밋한 프린트 다이얼이 아니라 훨씬 더 다채로운 느낌이 있습니다. 1960년대에 유행하던 다이버 시계에서 영감을 받은 것처럼 보이긴 하는데 과거에 머물지 않도록 현대적인 만듦새로 조율된 점이 돋보였습니다. 색상 구성도 매우 다양한데요. 블랙과 그린 같은 밀리터리 계열 컬러는 글라이신의 정체성과 가장 잘 어울리는 선택으로 보이고요. 좀 더 색다른 느낌을 원하신다면 블루와 버건디처럼 생생한 컬러도 선택할 수 있습니다. 특히 버건디는 다이버 시계에서 드물게 볼 수 있는 색상이라서 더 매력적으로 다가왔습니다. 다른 색상보다 브러쉬의 결이 잘 드러나는 것도 버건디 색상의 장점이라고 생각합니다. 베젤은 60클릭 단방향 회전인데요. 케이스만큼이나 베젤이 얇기 때문에 예전엔 좀 잡기 힘들고 다소 뻑뻑하다는 평이 있었던 게 사실입니다. 그런데 세대를 거듭해 가면서 스프링 장력이 조정이 돼서 조작감이 예전보다는 부드러워졌습니다. 크라운 가드 안에 들어가 있는 큼직한 크라운은 이 크기 덕분에 조작이 편리하고 굉장히 안정적인 사용감을 가지고 있습니다. 이렇게 크라운을 완전히 뽑아보면은 이 튜브 바깥쪽에도 러버 오링을 적용을 해가지고 먼지나 물이 침투하는 거를 이중으로 막고 있습니다. 사파이어 글래스 같은 경우에는 두께를 늘리지 않도록 평면 구조로 설계를 했고요. 무반사 코팅이 내부에 적용되어 있어서 시인성이 훌륭합니다. 무브먼트는 뭐 특별하지 않습니다. 셀리타의 SW200-1 오토매틱 무브먼트를 탑재를 했고요. 38시간의 파워 리저브는 좀 짧은 편이긴 하지만은 가격대를 고려하면은 납득 가능한 수준입니다. 야광 성능도 좋아진 것 같은데요. 시분 초침과 베젤의 야광점이 더 야광에 밝은 것 같긴 하지만은 그래도 인덱스의 야광도 근소하게 개선이 됐습니다. 기본 스트랩은 두껍고 좀 빳빳한 나토 타입인데요. 밀리터리 감성을 살리는 데는 훌륭하지만은 착용감에 있어서는 호불호가 갈릴 수도 있을 것 같습니다. 대신 버클은 이전보다 고급스럽고 정돈된 인상을 주도록 각지게 멋있게 잘 만들어 놨습니다. 컴뱃 서브는 현재 36mm나 39mm 모델도 출시되고 있는데요. 있는데요. 디자인과 착용감 그리고 비율을 종합적으로 고려했을 때 여전히 가장 전통적인 42mm가 가장 균형이 좋다고 생각합니다. 한국 소비자들 사이에서도 다이버 시계라서 그런지 42mm가 아직까지는 더 인기가 높다고 해요. 다만 2025년형의 39mm 모델이 디자인이 개선이 돼서 국내 출시 이후에 한 번 더 소개를 할 계획이 있습니다. 이것도 많이 기대를 해 주시기 바라고요. 이번 모델에서 역시 가장 주목할 만한 건 가격입니다. 사전 예약 기준으로 가격을 또 따로 설정을 해가지고 해외 가격이나 그레이 마켓의 가격 같은 거랑 좀 따라잡으려고 유통사에서 노력을 많이 하고 있습니다. 여러 사람들이 노력한 결과인데 티소나 해밀턴, 미도의 동급 다이버 시계들도 가격이 좋다고 하는데 그 가격대보다 좀 더 저렴하니까 그것도 장점이 될 것 같습니다. 브랜드의 히스토리나 개성, 사양, 그리고 디자인 완성도를 모두 감안했을 때 지금 기준에서 가장 현실적인 다이버 시계 중에 하나라고 할 수가 있을 것 같습니다. 자, 이제 글라이신 본사에서 다니엘 안드레아타 매니징 디렉터와 나눈 인터뷰랑 본사 지하 박물관에서 제가 기록한 영상을 만나보시죠. 요즘 글라이신의 신모델들이 새로운 디자인으로 꽤 긍정적인 반응을 얻고 있는데 어떤 배경과 철학을 가진 사람이 이 새로운 디자인을 만들고 있는지 엿볼 수 있는 기회가 되실 거라 믿습니다. 그리고 TMI일 수도 있는데 알고 보니까 이 다니엘 안드레아타가 제가 2년 전에 인터뷰했던 로저 드비의 전 CEO 니콜라 안드레아타의 동생이더라고요. 공교롭게도 형제분들이 다 저희 채널과 인연을 맺게 됐습니다. Finally, I managed to visit Glaisin.
Yeah, happy to have you here for sure.
So how can I call? Is it Glaisin office or
This is the main office.
main
here.
office?
Yeah,
Okay.
in
HQ.
yeah, the HQ. I
Headquarters.
would say
Yeah,
yes, quarter. Yeah, exactly.
And nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Mr. Andretta. Am I right? The
Yeah, it's good, right? It's right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm Italian and Swiss, so it sounds like more like a Andreatta, but
Andreatta?
it's just an Italian.
It's doable, Mr.
Exactly.
Andretta.
It's just
Yeah.
like an Italian thing, but I would turn around also if you call me that way.
It's really nice to see you. We talk via email,
Yeah.
but this is first time meeting you, and I realized that you haven't done any interviews,
No,
YouTube
no.
video. So I thought this guy must be very ugly or weird voice or something
Well,
like that.
you have to tell me.
You are great.
Okay, thank you
Your
very
voice
much.
is
India.
great, very
Okay.
deep. Yeah, you should do more interviews after this.
I will wait for something new to
So-
come out and invite you again. then.
Yeah. So this is debut.
Yeah, I would say so.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's my debut.
How come you decided to join Watch Business?
Well, it's a long story because my family have always been involved in the watch business. I grew up in a case factory. Actually, my grandfather was from Granken, from the area, but I grew up in Italy because the family moved from Switzerland to Italy, and they opened the first factory for steel and gold cases back in the 1940s. So I grew up in this environment. I actually studied economics, but then as soon as I graduated from university, I joined the business. At beginning, I created my own assembly factory because my brother, who is older than me, traveled to Hong Kong back in 1990s and was working for a big company in Hong Kong making components. So they needed somebody who actually assembled the watches in Switzerland. So I was the one who came out with it. Then my brother came back from Hong Kong, and we actually made our own brand, who was called NOA, N-O-A. NOA was none of the above, was standing for none of the above, was meaning to have a watch that was different from every watch that came previously. And actually the concept was quite new because we used to have 3D dials with big numerals, which actually was a trend in the early 2000s, I'm sorry. Then actually we're copied by a lot of other brands. I'm not gonna tell any names because this is it's not my kind of thing. And we sold the company back in 2012. He moved to Tiffany. To Tiffany Watch Group, and then from there to Roger Dubuis. I started as a freelance for a few years, and then I joined Glaisin in 2018.
Right after the Invicta
Yeah.
acquisition.
Well, I have to be honest that I knew already Mr. Lalo, who is Eyal Lalo, who is the owner of Invicta and now the owner of this brand. And he asked me to join the company to manage the Swiss brand, and I was happy to do it. I knew about Glaisin already, I knew about about this history of the brand, and I jumped on it right away without thinking too much, and I'm actually still happy about the choice. So, so far so good, I would say.
So how would you describe your life before and after Glycine?
I would say now it's more busy because especially before being a freelance, you have a lot of free time, you can manage whatever. And then I've never managed the production side. I've always been a designer, and I'm still a designer because all the watches they come out under the Glycine naming, I designed them. But now I also have to manage the people, manage the assembling, the production. So it's I would say now it's a little more complicated, but also I'm happy to do whatever it takes to make this brand working. And I do love any product that came out with the Glycine name ever since I got here. So I'm happy for the result.
So throughout your 8 years journey?
Yeah. I would say yes.
Yeah.
7 to 8 years.
Okay. What are the biggest achievements you feel proud of?
Glycine was selling well in the United States, and the main reason I joined was to try to spread the brand in other countries than US. And this is what I did, because now our main market is Europe. No, it's not USA anymore, and Asia is picking up. So probably the watches meet less the taste of the US people. I mean, I don't want to be like US people or whatever, but it's like I would say
they are watching it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the US market always been about big watches and bold statement, and now Glycine got back to more of a refined or more gentle watch. I know that still 90% of the watches of our watches are sold to men, so we have a little niche of female, which is something I would like to concentrate and try to enlarge a little bit. The other big challenge was because people would think about Invicta as a bad thing for the brand, which you're already laughing at, which is not a good sign. But the watch, the brand, although it's owned by Invicta, has kept his own DNA, and the niche of the people that were referring to Glycine are still there, and probably grew up also a little bit. Again, I know it's a tough time for watches, but we can't complain too much about what's happening for us.
Lots of people have some kind of misunderstanding about the relationship with Invicta.
Okay. Well, there's nothing tricky. There's nothing special. I mean, Invicta owns 100% Glycine, but that's pretty much it. Mr. Lalo is obviously aware of everything that happens in the company. He knows, I would say, what's the next step. We talk often, and we share ideas, but rather than this, the company has kept his independency. He's referred to the same niche of people that were loving Glycine before, and there's not too many interference, I would say, especially on the design point of view from Invicta. We're still independent on that side, and we thank Invicta for keeping us alive, especially in the past years. But that's pretty much it.
Okay, so you decide your own things.
Yes, people were thinking that you would make huge watches and stuff like that, which is something that Glycine did in the past. Because they used to do much bigger watches before I came in than now. We used to have the Airman 7, which is a 52 watch. We used to have the Incursore, which was a 48. The KMU was a 48. So that was the trend of the market. When in the early 2000, when Panerai was making the big cases, everybody followed it.
Talking of Panerai.
But it's true. In the end, I mean, as every product, there's trends. There is people who actually make trends and people following it. But as always, whatever it sells, it's
whatever it sells,
it's the best. Exactly.
But what people love about Glycine, vintage vibe, and being faithful to the original, that's actually strengthened
Yeah,
after the
yes.
acquisition of it.
Well, again, I cannot talk for whatever happened before I came in, but the quality and the suppliers and everything's kept the same. So the only thing that happened was we moved from ETA to Selita movements. Again, the quality is still the same. We still have sapphire glasses. We will never go back to. We will never go to plexi. Actually, the Airman used to be the Airman watches. We used to have a plexi
I
glass.
prefer plexi.
Well-
yeah, because I'm an old.
Well, it's true. Well, it's different. I mean, plexi has a definitely is a little more vintage look probably, and but quality-wise, it's much worse than sapphire.
That's true.
And actually, the price with the sapphire glasses didn't raise that much compared to the plexi versions. Water resistance is better. The look it's more high-end, at least to me, which is something that I would like to offer to my customers. And then the other thing is that it's a lot of factories who used to produce plexiglasses are not on the market anymore, and it's much harder to find a plexiglass now than it used to be.
I didn't know that.
Well, at least for us. Maybe I might be wrong. I talked to the wrong people, but now, yes, it's for us was getting harder to find a plexiglass, or at least a decent plexiglass.
From my viewers, I can tell that people really appreciate domed sapphire crystal without increasing price.
Yes, of
Yeah,
course. I can understand why.
Since Glasson was not at the Watches and Wonders, you may want to talk about new releases this year.
Well, well, first of all, we decided not to go to Watches and Wonder because we made an investment. Now probably it's 4 years ago. We made our sort of museum, which is downstairs in the.
Yeah, we will look around.
Exactly. I will take you. We will take you down there after, and this is like our home. We rather have people coming. We invite people over. We invite our customers or our suppliers and over to visit us, so that we're sure that the people who are coming here are not just passing by because they're brought from interest from something else, but because they really care about us. So we rather have probably less people than in a normal fair, but at least the people who join us during these days are really interested in the brand and what we're doing.
And people also like the new design of combat sub. So what is the inspiration behind the new design?
I try to look as much as possible on any trends or any design and everything, and then I try to come up with mine. I thought that the combat sub was moving too much to a Rolex type of watch, which it's not my kind. Not because I don't like Rolex. I mean, I have nothing against them actually, but I think that we have our own DNA, our own heritage that we have to look at. In more than 100 years of history, we have done so many dials, we have done so many watches that we can pretty much say that we did it all. So I went back to a lot of the watches that we have in our collection, because we are in as we said, we have the headquarters here, we have the museum downstairs, and then we have a warehouse. In warehouse, we have all the watches, at least one watch for every collection done from 1914 to now.
So it's like archive.
Exactly. That is my archive. So whenever I need to find some sort of inspiration, I can always find something there that gleam to my eye.
So you examine every type piece from archive in order to develop this?
Well, I would say so, yes. Because in the end, in 100 years history, we did it all. Well, it's true.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, because whenever we come out with something, there's always somebody who say, oh, you copy that, or you copy that. But they don't know that actually, through the years, we already done it. Like, we have a case, I found out last year, we have a case that looks like Audemars Piguet. Totally, but if you look at it, it looks like an Audemars Piguet, and it's a case they did in this I think the 70s. If I go out tomorrow with a watch like that, everybody would just complain. But again, it's part of our heritage, it's part of our history.
So this means that it's possible to integrate bracelet watch in Glaisin's collection?
Yes,
Based on
definitely.
history.
Definitely. Well, we used to. Well, the
Not this year, but probably.
No, not this year. Not this year. I actually made a try last year. I'm not saying that we're coming out for sure next year, but I was looking at it, and we probably try to. Again, it's again a trend, so we probably follow somehow. I don't love to follow everything. I'd rather rely on my taste.
Pioneer, you want to become a pioneer.
Well, I'm not. It's really hard later to be a pioneer, especially in the watch business, unless you do a huge investment or you do something breakthrough, which I haven't seen anything breakthrough in the last 10 years or more. So it's really
That's
hard
why
to be a
Airman
pioneer.
is really great.
It definitely.
was pioneer.
It was a pioneer for sure. I mean, it was but the fact it's not only that it was a pioneer. Is the fact it was actually invented and pushed by a real need. I mean, it was not just an aesthetical thing, but display the 24 hours at a glance was something that the pilot really needed. So it was like bringing together something new on the aesthetical point of view and something on the functional point of view. And this is why, to me, Airman is obviously nothing is really perfect in the world. But to me, Airman it's one of the most perfect tools you can find out there for sure.
True icon. When you choose colors, are there criteria or standard?
Well, again, since we are mostly man-oriented, the colors are pretty much usually. I mean, I have to say a little boring: black, white, blue, green, steel. It's true that last year I wanted to introduce the pink and the light blue watches on the Airman series.
Pink for men's watch makes perfect sense.
Actually, I have to be honest, and this is something my people wouldn't like me to say, but last year I wanted to make a combat sub with a light rose dial, and everybody told me not to do it.
Why?
And now, and now I regret it, because to me he would look fantastic. But that goes back more to my Italian heritage than to the Swiss part, because I'm half Italian and half Swiss, and I always say that I use the Swiss mentality when it comes to technical and precision, and I go back to my Italian root when we're talking about fashion and design. So as we did on the Airman to do, and it's not probably going to happen, to have a light pink dial on a combat sub. And I always love also the red. This is why the new combat sub have a red or burgundy touch on the dials. And I'm not really a follower, but I have to be honest, that probably sometimes when you look at a lot of things, you get influenced, although you don't know it. This is why I also see that there is a lot of brands coming out with red dial watches lately. Same for the purple, but I'm not a big fan of it. So this is why you won't find a purple watch at the moment.
Okay, special idea.
Exactly. It could be exactly. Unless you have a special demand on it. I'm not
On your face.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm more than welcome. You can prove me wrong. I mean, the Lakers fans from the NBA, they will love it. So we will do a purple and gold watch, and we're going to be a breakthrough in the United States. Who knows?
Who knows? There used to be two key collections in Glaisin's current collection, Combat Sub and Airman. Now you introduced a new collection, Sea Kraken.
Yes. Airman, obviously, goes by the name, was more oriented to a pilot watch, to the heritage of our brand. I mean, Airman was ever since 1953 was on the market. For us, it's been an icon. It's hard to touch an icon. We are actually working on a new case that will try probably to come out next year. That will be a sort of a modern thing. But again, to me, especially Airman, it sounds when I came in was the perfection. I mean, I really love the watch. There was especially being one of the first GMT watches in the market, if not the first one. It's a milestone, and it's hard to ruin something like that, or to work on something like that. The Sea Kraken, again, is nothing really breakthrough. As you said, the case is the same, and actually there was already a watch like that we used to produce during the war.
In the 60s?
Yeah, in the 60s. But it was not given the name Glaisin. We were actually do the watch for other brands, and they would sell it.
It was stereo.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it was mainly a sort of watch that If the Airman was for pilot, the Sea Kraken was meant for the Navy. Since we have a big collection already with combat sub, which is mainly for divers, Sea Kraken was to be a sort of missing piece in between. So it was meant to be as an heritage, as a vintage diver. What better case than the Airman's one? Because to me it's compact, has well proportions, perfectly comfortable on the wrist. So we went back to that design and then obviously try to manage it and make it more contemporary. We cannot just make a watch that belongs to the 60 in 2025. Yeah, Sea Kraken was a success for us. We don't have much stock on all of our watches. Our production is not huge, but everything that we produce is usually sold. But Sea Kraken was sold out fast, and now we're trying to restore the stock and go back to a normal pace.
What is your favorite color among four? For Koreans, it's definitely green.
The green. You told me about the green. I love the blue ones in almost all the watches. The blue tones on all dials. And the first one I did wear was the blue one. But then I switched to the white one. I like the white one with the old rhodium. But again, it's a matter of taste. My father loves the blue one as well.
No love for green?
well, I came out for the green, and actually also like the new combat sub are gonna have the green, and also the air pilot, because I think green is really classic, and I love the green watches. The only thing about the green Sea Kraken is that, especially because of the white lumen, it's more contemporary and less vintage probably. So this is why I was caught in between, because it's like a vintage watch but brought to modern times.
You wanted to put old rhodium on green?
No. It doesn't match. To me, it doesn't match.
It doesn't match.
I love it as it is. I mean, the blue and the green dials were meant to be for a more contemporary look, and to me, they both look fine. They both look good.
Did you expect that Glaisin and Airman would be loved by Korean people?
I think that Korea, among the Asian countries, as I told you already, it's probably the one with a better taste. It's not a follower in terms of trends, but it's more of it's like they have their own conscience, and they appreciate. It's not just they appreciate whatever they told you, but they appreciate what it's meant to be. And so I do think that there's a value behind Airman, and I do understand why people appreciate it. They're having their own taste and their own ideas, and I always believe that Korea it sets apart from the rest of the Asian community because they have a strong character and strong identity, and which is something that you can reflect also in Airman. So yes, I can see why they sort of look alike, and they appreciate that.
And I have been telling to Glaisin Korea and you, we need to build a new watch specifically for Korean market.
Yeah. Well, as I told you, Korea is the only Asian market which we deal directly. So I'm more than happy to invest more in terms of time and money with the Korean market. And so I can only see good things happening, and why not?
Why not? We will work on it.
Yeah,
right?
for sure. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Exactly.
My camera is giving me the
the red sign.
Oh yeah, overhead signal.
Okay.
So before my camera stops, why don't we look around the museum?
Yeah, and we'll take you down so that you can see an additional
I'm
part of the
looking forward
watch.
to it, because I haven't seen it. Let's go downstairs.
Yeah. Well, it's gonna. Wait. This is what we call the Glacian La Cave, and it's our museum.
La Cave.
Yeah. Ooh. So it's really a museum. It's really an old place.
Really, it's a cave.
I told you. I'm not lying.
Ooh. Where are we?
Well, this is
for my viewers.
This is Glacian La Cave, and this is pretty. As I told you before, it's a small space we built in 2019, and it displays our history basically. If you come this side, you can pretty much see the watches from the beginning. You can see pretty much our histories.
Uh-huh.
So the
Ladies
first,
watches.
yeah. Well, until the 30s, glycine was mainly female-oriented. The automatics came in around the 1930s with the AG Milan. This was the first automatic watch. And actually, it's probably one of the first automatic watch ever. There is a sort of debate on who made the first automatic watches. But this is, as you can see, this was automatic model that was assembled on top of the watch. When I told you that you can find pretty much any shape or any watch we have done through the years, you can see it all. I mean, here you can see, and when we talk about big watches, vacuum watches, or jewelry watches, we really have them all. These were the Airman 7 with the Plaza Mayor, which was like a huge watch I would never actually wear, but because it's not my taste. But again, whatever you wanted, we had it.
I have an Airman from 1970s.
If you know, the first Airmans used to have the heck mechanism, which was used to have a hole inside the
It
movements.
has hole, but the mechanism
there is no there's not the pin.
Yeah, there's
Okay.
no pin. Can you fix it for me?
We can actually, we do have a watchmaker in house that we can try to work on it if you
Okay.
want to. These were the first SST. Actually, my favorite SST and probably one of my favorite watch ever, which is the one from 1967 with the gray and black dial.
And orange chapter.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the chronograph, automatic chronograph, which I wish we could actually still manage to make.
If you ever check the pre-owned and vintage market,
Yeah.
if these two are really
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But this is one of the reasons why we keep them here. No, we probably.
so this is a secret weapon.
Yeah, exactly.
You launch it.
Actually, there is another one I like better because there is also the blue dial version, which is really nice. But it's even more rare, and I do have one in warehouse.
And in regulator.
Yeah,
Also
exactly.
the regulator. Wow. So Glycine tried every different thing.
Yes,
Already?
yes, definitely. We have a lot of pocket watch as well. This is from the 90s. It's not really vintage, but we had a run of pocket watch that belongs in the 30s. If you look on top, you see the integrated bracelet.
Wow.
There's an automatic. Oh, this is the automatic one. You used to have a quartz and automatic version.
Yeah.
To me, sometimes it's a miss. And then we go to this is more of a normal collection. We have some pieces that are missing, and we're now trying to renovate the museum because everything that you see around here belongs to early 2020 or 2019. So we now should try to renovate. And then
I have a question.
I see you raise your hand.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. What was the first piece created right after you?
When I came here,
Yeah.
it was the vintage combat sub. I think the first one I designed was this combat sub. See, it's not big. It's perfect size people to host friends and to show new stuff. This is the purpose of the La Cave.
Do you have final message for my viewers?
Keep on appreciating our watches and keep on flying with Airmans.
Perhaps you may want to include something in Korean. So you
no,
can say something.
I can only do this. We tried. He told me last time we were here, but this is as far as I can go.
Okay.
I'm sorry. 감사합니다.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect.